I had already recorded this, and I don't know what happened to the draft, but now I'm going to re-record it just to kind of explain a little bit about what do you do after, obviously, you've awakened, remembered who you are, and you realize that you do have some kind of calling on your life, but at the same time, you're in a situation where if you've been targeted and you've had a lot of strange things happen to you, you're not really necessarily in the mood to be mingling with perhaps the people you're supposed to be helping. And there was a Dolores video about this, a Dolores Cannon video, where she was explaining how a lot of these souls that are coming in right now, they don't even want to be mingling with people, right? You tend to see that a lot of these Sims, like, they just kind of sell out. Like, they have certain characteristics that, you know, you think to yourself and you observe and you're like, I would never do certain things that you see that they're doing. And that's not to say that they're not people with souls that are corrupted, that are also doing the wrong things or that could betray you. It's just to say that you get to the point where you want to be in your own company and not necessarily giving your energy to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's out there, right? So I'm going to kind of talk about, in a sense, what we should be doing. We have to look at ourselves as if we are flags, okay? And we are flags that represent God. And in one way or the other, wherever you are located at the moment, you are planted there to be a symbol of God's kingdom in that area, energetically, in frequency, in light, okay? So, you know, a lot of times I see a lot of videos on TikToks from a lot of people who I also feel, you know, like they share a lot of things that have happened to them, and I feel like it resonates with things that have happened to me. And they might be American, and then you'll notice, like, oh, where do they live? Oh, they're in Asia. Oh, they're in Latin America. Oh, they're, you know, kind of just like all spread out. Keep in mind that this simulation also does certain things in your targeting experience, which, like I said, is allowed by God, but for the purpose of spreading us all out in the end so that there is a balance. Okay, the Matrix might do it in a sense, obviously not to have too much light in one area because they want darkness to prevail, but God also is permitting us to be spread out right now, especially the ones that have a lot of these old souls, okay, so that we can also balance out certain regions. And in the end of the day, it's like a game plan. That's how I look at it. It's as if it's like a game plan with the ley lines of where we can be most impactful. This doesn't mean that you need to be necessarily like yelling or trying to, you know, go out of your way to do like extreme things to draw attention to Jesus's teachings. I mean, obviously you have people who do that, and that is courageous and that's wonderful, but consider it like, you know, just your presence alone, just your energy, just people observing your life sometimes can give them the strength because they're seeing God work through you. Or maybe, like I gave an example, you are a teacher and you end up working at a certain school and you end up discovering like, hey, they're not teaching these kids, hey, this is going on and that shouldn't be, and you're the person who's going to stand up and say something about it. Same way if you're like at a supermarket and you realize like they're doing other strange shady things, and you know, you're the one that goes and writes the letters and policies get changed. We all have our purpose, okay? The idea is to check what has been unchecked all this time, because the kingdom of darkness has been, you know, running the show, and now their time is up. There's not one timeline where these MFers, you know, win, basically, okay? They are defeated. Now, coming back to that whole concept of, you know, being targeted and having those experiences where people are purposefully doing things to upset you, right? Which, you know, honestly will give you just a tad bit of animosity towards, you know, the human species, okay? Again, yesterday I made a mistake. I said Sabrina Wallace is the person you should go check out on YouTube. And she is the one who is talking about all of the technology that was, you know, put out there with the 5G, you know, after COVID. And we kind of knew, you know, you kind of knew like that it was like something like a human, you know, 2.0, whatever was going on. But, you know, the idea that they are using our bodies And especially, I imagine with the Sims, it's like really easy to just have every bit of control over them. You have demons that possess bodies, because a lot of the people who are awakening, they observe certain things and they feel like, when they hear the Sim simming and talking, about them or doing strange things, that those are demons jumping from body to body. Now, I do believe that you have situations like that, just like you have angels that get into vessels. But at the same time, there is a whole situation here where they're using our electromagnetic field, our aura, to go ahead and, have complete control and trapping a lot of these Sims, to keep a lot of these Sims trapped in whatever, matrix is left for them to, hold on to. Okay, so this also does exist, but she herself even says at the end of the day, you need to get right with God, because people who are chosen, especially, we are vibrating on a frequency that is not that easy for them to control us. And if you are vibrating in God's frequency, it is not that easy for them to control you. Okay, so on one hand, if you go and you listen to what she explains, they can do whatever they want with these Sims, making them talk. And a lot of experience that I've had, that I've even mentioned, I've noticed that in my targeting, that sometimes before they started simming or talking about me, it was as if one person was standing completely still next to me, and it wasn't until another Sim came and engaged with them, some kind of contact, is when they started to sim and talk and do strange things. So I do definitely believe that that is going on, because that would make sense. So you do kind of have to have some sort of compassion. Okay. In fact, I've been very happy lately that my algorithm has been algorithming, and I've been seeing and hearing a lot of cases from other individuals who don't necessarily consider themselves targeted, but have been referring to these experiences where you can tell they're finally hearing the frequency, they're finally waking up. Where this guy was saying, yeah, it can't be, everywhere I'm going, I'm starting to hear people, talking about me. It's pretty strange. People are waking up. It's happening. It's happening. That's it. So, as you see that everybody's waking up, we are seeing what's going on. Again, you have to have some kind of compassion, because you understand now that sometimes there are behaviors that these Sims are doing that are not even, I don't even know. So to reiterate, it is our job to cover, basically, in a sense, those that are still blind, those that are not awakened, okay? And it doesn't mean you even have to go up to them or say anything to them. It's just your mere presence. Your presence, your light, your energy is what is causing the shift, okay? Again, as we are doing this shift into the 5D or the higher timeline, with time, all of the other children that are going to be born into this reality, they're going to need that balance. They're going to need that level or that vibration to also be able to continue the awakening process and continue to enlighten the world back, into that Christ consciousness, okay? Which is what they said, how they said that we were living when supposedly it was the Dark Ages, that supposedly those were the ages when people were actually functioning at their Christ consciousness level, until they tried to erase everything and trap us again. So just consider that related to frequency and our energy and who we are, and awakening and remembering. And like I said, you don't have to take them out for a cup of coffee, but just know that you are you're doing what you're doing because of who you are in Christ, okay? You are the daughter, you are the son of God, and you have the integrity, so that is what you are called to do. That's it.